A wealthy toy company owner is on a quest to find the perfect doll, one he plans to make the mother of his son. The story is set in 1961, when the one-word toy company is thriving in the small town of Natchez, Mississippi. It is here that Miss Kobe Dellum arrives for an interview with Mr. Samuel Van Wert. During their conversation, Van Wert reveals that he has a special fondness for dolls, viewing them as the embodiment of purity and innocence. However, Kobe questions this perspective, suggesting that God would likely favor people over dolls. Impressed by her independent thinking, Van Wert ultimately decides that she is not a good fit for his company, despite her impressive qualifications. Following the interview, the director's assistant, a man named Eustace, suddenly grabs Kobe and sedates her. When she awakens, she finds herself surrounded by mannequins in a large dollhouse designed by Van Wert himself. Soon, she learns that over the next 7 days, she will be forced to participate in a bizarre competition. Kobe tries to politely refuse and leave, but her protests are ignored. The silent Eustace blocks her path, while Van Wert explains that there is only one way out, but she won't like it. Kobe is locked inside the dollhouse and soon realizes with horror that the mannequins around her are not just lifeless dolls, they are prisoners, disguised in costumes and doll masks. Aurelia immediately objects to the newcomer's participation in the contest, arguing that Kobe hasn't gone through the first 3 stages of trials. Another contestant explains that Kobe was kidnapped by the mad doll maker, who orchestrates this competition to determine which of the participants will become the perfect mother for his son Otis. She also warns Kobe that it's better not to know what happens to those who fail to advance to the next round. Harlan and Bonnie show Kobe the room where they live and reveal that one of them was abducted right off the side of the road, while the other was taken from her own home. No one who has ended up here has ever managed to escape alive. From the dollhouse, Kobe spots Van Wert's son, Otis, through the window of the large mansion. The next morning, Harlan advises the newcomer to eat since food is only delivered once every 2 days. When Kobe asks about Otis's mother, Harlan explains that the official story, she drowned in an accident when their boat capsized. However, everyone knows the real truth. Van Wert's wife had an affair, and when her husband caught them, he ordered Eustace to throw both of them into an old dried-up well. For the contest, Kobe chooses a clown costume and is instructed not to move until spoken to. Soon after, the master arrives at the dollhouse with his spoiled son, who is displeased upon seeing the newcomer in her clown outfit. Van Wert leaves on business and Otis, expressing his dislike for clowns, threatens Kobe, saying that Eustace will throw her out by the end of the day. In response, Kobe offers to show him a trick and unexpectedly moves a tow fire truck with her mind, surprising Otis. Impressed, he demands she do it again, reminding her that he is the master's son. Assessing his character, Kobe decides to comply. When the contestants are alone, Aurelia asks Kobe about the trick, and Kobe explains that her uncle was a magician. Aurelia, however, doesn't believe her and insists that she will win the contest, seeing it not as a chance to be Otis's mother, but as a way to escape this place. At that moment, the bell rings in the dollhouse, signaling the start of the next challenge. Today's task is to set the table for dinner correctly, with only 1 minute to complete it. As the challenge begins, Kobe watches Aurelia, who is experienced, and simply mimics her actions. However, Aurelia notices this and at the last second switches to pieces of cutlery, ensuring Kobe fails. During the inspection, Van Wert praises Aurelia for her work and hands out penalties to the others. The maximum penalty doesn't go to Kobe, but to the girl in the bride's costume. Wasting no time, Eustace shocks her with a taser and carries her off to the old dried-up well. Aurelia, turning to Kobe, assures her that she won't last long here and that no magical tricks will save her, even if she impresses the master's son. The next day, Kobe spends time with Otis and confides in him that her abilities are a gift she has always hidden from her deeply religious family. One day, Kobe ran away from home to find true freedom. She also tells Otis that they are alike in many ways. He is different too, playing with dolls and not attending school. Otis admits that he did go to school, but his classmates bullied him, and teachers scolded him for his aggressive behavior. He confesses that he truly wants Kobe to be his new mother. Kobe responds that she can only be a good mother if she is happy, and happiness for her means freedom for the other contestants. She asks Otis to talk to his father about letting them go. Otis goes to his father, who at that moment is on the phone, convincing someone that his handmade dolls are far superior to Barbie. When Otis tries to talk to him about his own concerns, Van Wert responds that life is full of disappointments. He mentions how his ex-wife let him down, which is why he is now determined to find the perfect mother for Otis, someone who will never leave him. Hearing this, Otis decides not to share Kobe's request. The next day, the remaining contestants face a new challenge. They are tasked with not only ironing and folding shirts neatly, but also creating a special ironing spray using the provided ingredients. They have just 3 minutes to complete the task. Kobe finished first, but during inspection, it's found that while Harlan only had too much lavender in her spray, Kobe's shirt has a scorched area. Displeased, Van Wert orders her to place her left hand on the ironing board and punishes her by pressing a hot iron against it. Aurelia, as usual, avoids criticism, but Bonnie receives the maximum penalty points, and Eustace promptly eliminates her on the spot. Van Wert then announces that the final round of the contest will take place the next day, where the winner will finally be chosen. Later, when Aurelia is alone with the other girls, she accuses Kobe of failing to gain any real advantage through her magic tricks or conversations with Otis. Harlan tries to lighten the mood by joking that if she becomes Otis's mother, she probably smother him on the first day. Kobe, however, says she genuinely feels sorry for the boy. Before heading to the costume room, overhearing this, Aurelia decides to take drastic action. She goes to the living room and screws the bedpost finial, and returns with the intention of taking out her competition. However, when she finds what she thinks is Kobe, it turns out to be a mannequin. Later, Kobe reappears and tells the other captives that they'll leave through the front door tomorrow, adding that if Van Wert wants to play with dolls, then that's exactly what he'll get. That night, Otis wakes up and sees his father heading towards the dollhouse with Eustace. Inside, they find 3 prisoners, still and unmoving as always. Van Wert announces that tonight he will examine their souls. However, the girls are actually hiding behind a curtain, and at the right moment, Kobe uses her powers to unlock the door, and they all run outside. As they make their escape, Kobe suddenly stops, saying she can't leave without Otis. After saying goodbye to the others, she heads back to the main house. Meanwhile, Van Wert recites a verse from the Old Testament, asking the contestants before him who it belongs to, only to realize that he's been talking to mannequins all along. 2 prisoners are running through the vast garden of an estate, but at some point Harleen, exhausted, collapses. Aurelia raises a stone above her, declaring that Harleen is only slowing down their escape. At that moment, Eustace shoots both girls one after the other. Kobe reaches Otis and tells him about the escape, suggesting they leave together. However, the boy unexpectedly apologizes and stuns her with a taser. When Kobe regains consciousness, she finds herself strapped to a table. Van Wert congratulates her on her victory and reveals a sound recording device hidden in one of the dolls, which allowed him to learn about her escape plan in advance. Despite this, he was pleasantly surprised that Kobe came back for his son, and he decides that she would be the perfect mother for Otis. However, in his opinion, the perfect mother requires one final touch from a master doll maker. Eustace begins preparing the necessary materials, and a special mold descends over Kobe. Time passes. Van Wert now lives with his son and Kobe, who looks like a real doll, her body covered in flexible plastic. But one day, during a tea party, 2 women arrive at the house. They first immobilize Van Wert and Eustace, then free Kobe from her plastic prison, explaining that they tracked her down using spales, as she is one of them. Otis, begging not to be left alone, reminds Kobe that she promised to be his mother. Moved by this, she decides to take him with her while one of the women sets fire to the immobilized Van Wert and Eustace in their dollhouse. Soon after, Kobe brings Otis to a school for witches and offers him the chance to choose a new name. The boy decides to call himself Spaulding and immediately meets a girl his age named Myrtle, who declares that she will one day be in charge of the school. And with that, the story concludes. Thank you for watching and see you next time.